Solid anti-air! Life lead is there, but still anyone's game. Jumps? Ooh, what a smart throw! Both sides getting ready. They're in control. Oh, banks it on the fireball! Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. How is this rematch going to play out? Are we going to witness a blow-up here? Switches it up. Takes him all the way to the corner with that. Player one is using their drive liberally. They need to make good use of the gauge without emptying it. Player one doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. Checks him with the projectile. Life lead opens up. Taking stock. The low doesn't connect. Up tap to close it. Player one picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage. Blocks the low heavy. Caught in the crossup. Did well to get the buff in there. He can't squander this punish counter chance. Ends the meter, hoping for a good return. Gets carried to the corner. Player one holding on to that corner advantage. Goes for the jump in. Wraps it up with a decisive combo. Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Impacts are no go. Puts one in the pocket. Not much damage dealt so far, but they may be looking for an opening to run with. How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? Player two pushes the opponent into the corner. The throw hits. Now the fun begins. Steps in for the throw. Uses this opportunity to really lay into the opponent with a damaging combo. Decent damage. What's next? Player one doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. How much damage can they deal before the opponent's drive goes for the super art? That's how you do it. When you've got that super art gauge, you just gotta use it. The drink levels at 4. Going on the offensive? Springs forward with the drive rush. Drive runs to keep it going. Player two chases them down. Knockdown and KO. Player one picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round two. Fight.
The next round is beginning. What's gonna happen now? Opts for the free flow kicks to get a drink in. Still very early in the round. They're still feeling each other out. Gotta be careful not to whip at this range. Pings him with the Shikuzen. Gets the combo. Fantastic awareness. Looking to impress with this super. Player one needs to use the threat of the corner here. Ooh, what a smart throw. What'll happen here? Player two is in a pretty good situation. Springs forward with the drive rush. Goes to the air. Right lead is there, but still anyone's game. Break through with the throw. Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. Finds the time to squeeze in above. Okay, we're in the early stages of the round. Both fighters have plenty of health. Where is this match gonna go? How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? A dangerous range here. You don't want to get jumped on a long recovery move or you're gonna eat tons of damage. The throw hits. Now the fun begins. Was well in range to score the throw. Will they build meter or just go all in on each other? Player one pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Deftly shuts out the jumper. We're at the halfway point of the round, and both fighters spends the meter to throw on some massive damage. Player two can't let their drive gauge run out. They need to find a way to reset the situation. They get driven into the wall, breaking their guard. Their life is looking critical, and they can't rely too much on drive either. Get some! Player 1 sets the tone with that win. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Round 2. Fight!
Jump! Okay, they trade hits. Did well to get the buff in there. Still very early in the round. Keeping track of the opponent's movements, waiting for a good opening. There's a wall splat. They can't do anything now. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Hits them with a stop and block. Player 1 in dire straits with burnout. Out of drive gear. Now's the time. Burns a bar to unleash the storm. Sakai Fuhasan. Players drive rush to keep it going. Back into baits out the low kick. Jumps in. Forward throw. Laying the pressure on things. We have super arts on deck. The still finishes with the throw. Well, listen. When you're locked in, you're locked in. That was a decisive win. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Brushes off the impact. Blocks the impact, but they're still pushed back. Plenty of time left. How's the match gonna play out? What's the play here? Puts one in the pocket. Okay, takes them all the way to the corner. Player 2 will be in a world of hurt if their drive gauge runs out. The Fuhas stalk to the brim. Look for them to turn up the heat now. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Tries to keep the pressure on the opponent by zoning with Fireball. Next hit KO. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight!
Everything up until now, and everything from here on out is so vital. Sees it coming and blocks it out. You can block impacts, but you're gonna lose some drive gauge when you do. Player 2 is going to have a hard time managing their drive now. Knockdown and looking for a chance. Blocks the impact. Drive gauge is looking bad. Springs forward with the drive rush. Player 1 will look to apply pressure. They were right to be on guard there. Burnout activates. Burns a bar to unleash, wraps it up with a decisive combo. That was a clinic on how a solid neutral game wins matches. How is this rematch going to play out? Are we going to witness a blow-up here? It strings it all together. Finds the time to squeeze in a buff. Goes for an overhead. The drink level's up to 4. All options are on the table. Low kicks are a no-go. All right. Surprises them with a drive rush. These performed off a drive rush get extra plus frames, making for a potentially high return. Player 1 brings out the super art. How is this gonna work out for them? Taking stock. The trick springs forward with the drive rush. Hits them with his free flow. This is the range where things get messy. Can they utilize their reach or bait each other out? One shot is all both fighters need to close this out. Next hit will end the round. They take some time to back off and regroup. Who's going to strike first? Drive rush to keep it going. Avoid getting stuck in the corner somehow. Burnout up tap to close it. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight!
Jumps in. The next round is beginning. What's gonna happen now? Player 1 is going to have a hard time managing their drive now. Takes a trip. Not much drive to work with at the moment. Attack, defend, anything can happen in this situation. The Fuha's there to give them even better returns on their investment. Swagger Hermit Punch. Juicy damage. Burnout activated. Player 1 in dire straits with Burnout. Charges forward. Both fighters plus super art. The super doesn't hit. And they create an opportunity. Clinch it. Player 2 will look to, ooh, what a smart throw. Take that guard away. He's maxed out. Raw super art incoming. Shot time, Ruasa. Both sides getting forward rush. Player 2 can't use any throws them. What's next? Player 1 can't let this simmer. Doesn't set the throw. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win?
Final round. Fight.
Opens with a jump in. Sets up with the jump in. Experiencing burnout. Solid anti-air. They just said, get that jump in out of here. Player 1 is looking at the low block. Oh, they switch sides. Gets out of the corner. Tons of space between the fighters now. What are they cooking up? Keeps up, connects with the throw. Forward rush. Yo, cut that boy off. He's had too much. Player 2 can't let this simmer. They gotta start cooking. Ooh, you never know what can happen here. All in with a rush. And yo, raw super here. Impact squat. Ooh, does them dirty. Player 2, there's a burnout. A real test of nerves. This is gonna hurt. Grab them. I can't believe it. Player 2 can't use any drive moves. Gotta play it safe. They push their way out of the corner. Do they have what it takes to steal the round here? It is over. Player 1 is gonna be watching replays for this one for a while. They really took it down to the wire.
Round 1.
It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that runback. A jump, sets up with the jump in. Breaks the block with a throw. Good work staying in throw range there. Things are slow going right now, but we may see someone speed things up soon. Player 1 pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Clear that neither of them wants to be in the corner. Knockdown. Time to do some damage after that wall splat. Takes a trip. I think both fighters want to keep an eye on their drive gauge and try to refill it whenever they can. Gets the knockdown, and now, taking stock. Brushes off the impact. Goes for the drive rush there. Got their eye on the air. All right, what's coming up next? At this range, many attacks can connect if you stick something out. The neutral game is very important. Where is their opening? Good job blocking the jumping. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Player 1, this is a huge chance to make them feel it. In a dire situation, they can't afford any mistakes. Smart choice to use that attack to do chip damage and get the KO to take the round. Player 2 takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with?
Fight.
Just looking to impress with this super. Everything up until now, and everything from here on out, is so vital. Nice counter. That counter's got to have rattled. Burnout activates. Experiencing burnout. They're both driveless. This is gonna get messy. Knockdown and a super art? No question whether this super art is going to kill or not.
That felt good, didn't it?
There it is! They knew it'd be enough. Here's the final round. The real fight starts now.
Give me a little bit more.
Final round. Fight.
This is it. Who's gonna take it all?
Coming at you.
Not close enough for the throw. Goes for the jump in. Solid anti-air. They just said, get that jump in out of here. This is gonna be bad news. Carries them all the way to the corner in one gun drive rush. Closes the distance. Dangerous range hit wrecks them. A jump, this can lead to some big damage. throws them. How long can this offensive assault continue? Player 1 fades out the low kick. Jump. Wraps it up with a throw. Player 1 was an absolute beast in that match.
Round 1.
It's not over yet. Let's believe it's time for that comeback. Breaks the block with a throw. Denies the low heavy. Okay, we're in the early stages of the round. Blocks the jump in. The throw hits. Now the fun begins. Steps in for the throw. Player 1 is just about out of drive after that. Pressuring them in the corner. Keeping them in the corner will only produce more damage opportunities. Player 1 is in burnout. Drives off the table. Big low reaching heavy. Good job blocking the jump in. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Knockdown. Did this super art connect? Oops, they were anticipating that super art. Taking stuff. KO. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight.
They've piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Medium kick. Who will gain control of the match in the early going? They hit each other. You've got to be mindful of reach. Hold your breath. This is gonna be bad news. The drive impact. There's a bar to unleash the storm. Sakai Fuhasan. Player 2 is in a pretty good situation with the meter advantage. Springs forward with the drive rush. This is a turning. Burnout activates. Oh no, they're stunned. This can lead to some big damage. In there. That's what happens when you capitalize on all of your chances.
Round 1.
Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Sees it coming and blocks it out. Drive impact is blocked, but takes a bite out of the drive gauge to apply some pressure. Any developments early in the round will set the table for the rest of the fight. The throw hits. Now the fun begins. Was well in range to score the throw. Saw that low heavy coming. What's the play here? Still slugging it out here. Had the radar up and running. Knockdown. They are battling it out tooth and nail here, with no one having a clear advantage yet. Starting to sweat a bit. Player 1 needs to use what little drive they have left effectively. Add a little super juice into this combo for more damage. Turns it up a notch and sends them. Nails the overdrive arrow kick. Taking stock. Springs forward with the drive rush. Player 1 is gonna have to wait for that drive gauge. Can they stick it out? Who will capitalize on an opening first? Drink level 4 and now just goes for it at this range. That's not gonna hit. The exchange for KO. Player 2 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight.
Gets a risky pump in. The jump in hits them with a stop and pop. Turns it up a notch and sends them to the corner. Chases them into the corner and will now look to do some damage. Swagger step. Cuts in with the drive impact. That combo hits, strikes back with the overdrive arrow. Player 2 can't springs forward with the drive rush. Player 2 in dire straits with burnout. The low heavy is denied. Barely blocks the jump in. How will they utilize this? Got him up against the wall and the stun is there. But experiencing burnout sets up with the jump in. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Are we gonna see a drive rush to keep it going? KO. Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point.
Fight. Round. Fight.
Starts things off with a jump in? No knockdown as the low heavy is blocked. Jumps in. We're just getting started here. Who will take control? Player 1 will look to apply pressure here. Hits him with a stop and block. Max SA gauges. It's a good spot. Shoot the super. Uh-oh. This could really tip the scale. Good presence of mind, but no way. No signs of letting up from out of the corner. Player 2 still has a chance, but it's going to be an uphill battle. This is the gigantic life lead. Overhead attack. Somehow throws him. What's next? In attack range. They're taking a step back to slow down the pace. Player 2 can't win this without pulling the trigger. Were they looking to connect with an overdrive arch from this? What a finish! I've seen a lot of fights in my day, but nothing even comes close to this one. They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. Jumps in. Okay, they trade hits. The fighters continue to check each other in the early going. How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? Lots of aggression from both sides. Opts for the throw. Steps in for the throw. Player 1 chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Player 2 is almost dead, but some clutch drive moves and a huge KO. Player 1 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Bumps up. Barely blocks the jump in. Big, low, reaching heavy. Breaks the block with a throw. Player 1 has the life lead. Can they use drive rush to keep it going? Throws in the distance. Player 2 can't use any drive moves without burning out. Both fighters planning something? Big throws. Saihasho, player 1 will look to apply pressure here. Opts for the free flow kicks to get the springs forward with the drive rush. Oh, no question whether this super art is going to kill or not.
That felt good, didn't it?
There it is! They knew it'd be enough. That was a clinic on how a solid neutral game wins matches. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Throws him. What's next? Finds the time to squeeze in a buff. The impact gets blocked. Blocks the impact, but they're still pushed down. Deftly shuts out the jumper. Lots of aggression from both sides. There's a drive rush to throw the opponent off balance. So, a drive rush can really close the distance, putting moves that would otherwise be out of reach in that sweet spot to launch a surprise attack. Goes for a projectile to try and change the pace. You know their fireball game is solid because they're only throwing it when their opponent can't jump it. Did well to get the buff in there. From up above, heading into the end. What a finish. Great read on the life gauge there. Player 1 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Bumps up. Who's going to start things off? Projectile to try and change the situation. Fireballs are risky, but if the opponent doesn't jump, they're one of the best ground game tools. Gets carried to the corner. They've got nowhere to run now that they're in the corner. It's a good spot to use the super. Very slick with the combo. Side switch in the corner. Steals back a chance. Going in, won't play their game. Says no with the overdrive Tenzin in. Not much life left, but their drive usage may save them. Noticeable life lead. Is a comeback still possible? Blocks. Takes in the throw. Player 1 just posterized their opponent. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Holds out with the block. Opts for the throw. steps in for the throw. There's a drive rush to throw the opponent off balance. Player 1 pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Player 1 is just about out of drive after that. The drive gauge is completely empty, meaning their ability to block is also weaker. They need to hold out. Blocks the jump in. What's the play here? Fantastic reactions there. Throws them to negate the block. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. Goes for the super art? That's some big juicy damage on that counter. Takes a big gamble and rips out a raw super. That's a counter. This is a critical point of the round where they just need to go for it. Taking stock. From upstairs. Scrapping it out. Up. KO! Player 1 on the board first with the win. They'll want to keep the pressure on.
Round 2. Fight.
Ooh, it looks like they're waiting to see what the opponent wants to do first. Both fighters want to establish themselves early on. Player 2 will want to take advantage of their meter lead while they have it. With this kind of gauge gap, they'll want to think about when to use it and not be trigger happy. From up above, takes them all the way to the corner with that. Chases them into the corner and will now look to do some damage. Anti-air drops them. Strikes back with the overdrive arrow. Knockdown and stings them with the Shikusen. Pokes with a medium kick. Blocking that drive impact isn't going to work. Player 1 holding onto that corner advantage. What'll happen here? Player 2 needs to use the threat of the corner here. Shows the medium kick. You've got to be mindful of these KO. Well, listen, when you're locked in, you're locked in. That was a decisive win. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Absorb lands a punish counter for the first hit. Deal some damage with that quick combo. What's going to follow the combo? On dangerous turf. Easy to get tagged at this range. Player 1 pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Got their eye on the air. Wow, shut down. Player 2 is going to have a hard time managing their drive now. Sticks the combo. Takes a trip. Throws them to negate the block. Takes a big gamble and rips out a raw super. Gets it. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight.
Bumps up. The next round is beginning. What's gonna happen now? Jump? The order makes it hard to escape. What'll be the setup? Player 1 will need to play it conservative until their drive refreshes. Looking for a chance. Player 1 needs to use what little experiencing burnout. Barely blocks the jump in. Devil Song. They gotta go for it while they're buffed. The super doesn't hit. Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner. Drink level max. Ooh, what a smart blow. What'll happen here? KO. Player 1 may have a well of untapped potential. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Gets the jump in. Holds out with the block. Throws him. What's next? Was well in range to score the throw. Tries to throw but doesn't connect. Uncomfortable space here. Can they clip each other on the edge? Opts for the throw. Trips him up. Player 2 pushes the opponent into the corner. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of damage. The jump in is denied. Can't take the throw. Decides to puff up while they can. Projectile to try and change the situation. denies the low heavy. Very solid corner switch. Player 2 chases them down. Will they try to finish the round with a drive move? Takes a big gamble and rips out a raw super. The super doesn't hit. Player 1 will have to fight back here with a XP. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight.
Gets a risky buff in. They piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Player 1 will look to apply pressure, brushes that off and keeps going. Breaks the block with a throw. Pokes with a medium kick. Going in, still slugging it out at this range. Springs forward with a drive rush. Drive gauge is looking bad. What do they do now? Saihasho checks with a medium kick. Experiencing burnout. Knockdown and they're going for the super art. The super doesn't hit. Jump. This is gonna hurt. Throws them. A quick brief drive rush to keep it going. Player 2 will need to use their meter here wisely. KO. Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. So, what are our fighters planning in this opening round? Did well to get the buff in there. Starts off zoning with fireballs. Both fighters have plenty of health. Where is this match going to go? How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? Player 1 pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Oh! The move whips and they get nailed with a punch down. Adds a little super juice into this combo for more damage. Both fighters are trying to decide their next move. This is the range where things get messy. Can they utilize their reach or bait each other out? Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. In a dire situation, they can't afford any mistakes. Blocks the low heavy. Where's their opening? Trying to read each other here? KO. Player 1 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Did well to Devil's Song. They gotta go for it while they're buff. How will they take advantage of everything that's happened up until now? Early round decisions are so important to set the tone. Combo with the target combo. A quick breather. Player 2 needs to use the predator corner here. Knockdown and... Player 1 is working with a better game. Experiencing burnout. Throws them. Player 1 will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. Crowns him from above. Jump. This is gonna hurt. Here comes the corner pressure. The swagger step sends him flying. Chisels him down. We're going into the final round tied up. Which fighter has it in them to grind out the win?
Final round. Fight.
Impact squash. Gets a risky buff in. Gets the side switch. Gets out of the corner. Crowns him from above. A jump. Clutch, anti-air. Solid anti-air. Lays down a side hustle overhead. Player 1 can't let this simmer. They gotta start cooking. Drops them from the air. Player 1 is barely hanging on to their last bit of betting it all on the drive run. Playing with a super art 26. Didn't hesitate going for the kill with that super.
That felt good, didn't it?
Perfectly planned, perfectly executed. Gotta hand it to both of our fighters. They put on a real clinic for us.
Round 1.
They're still hungry. Both sides stepping up for the rematch. Blocks it. Big throws. Big opportunity coming. That's some big juicy damage on that counter hit. Puts one in the pocket. Goes for the fireball. maintains composure and pushes out of the corner. Gets out of the corner and creates some distance. A dangerous range here. You don't want to get jumped on a long recovery move, or you're going to eat tons of damage. Heats it up with a combo into super. A nice, chunky combo. Can they keep up the assault? The jump-in is denied. Did well to get the buff in there. Big gap between the two fighters, so they throw out a fireball. The fight continues in the middle of the stage. They were right to be on guard there. Closing moments of the match. One hit's gonna do it. Risky up close strike back to come from the brink like that. What a comeback!
Of course.
Player 2 with the first strike, but they can't get complacent.
Round 2. Fight.
Who's going to start things off? System with a stop and bomb. Opt for the free flow kicks to get a drink in. Had the radar up and running. Their spacing is so on point right now. But who's gonna blink first? Strings forward with the drive rush. Closes the distance. Player 2 can't use any drive moves without burning out. Big opportunity now in this corner. Big chance here to do some damage if they can keep the corner pressure up. Player 1 in dot charges forward. Just goes for it at this range. Closing it out with a super hard finish. Nice and clean. Taking no prisoners. This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Give me a little bit more.
Final round. Fight.
Loads up above. Saihasho to start something. Sneaks in above. Ooh, what a smart blow. Player 1 closed out the last round with a super. They spent that cash, but will it come back to bite them? Our fighters are at overhead attack. Experiencing burnout. A quick breather reads the jump in perfectly. Player 1 isn't betting it all on the drive rush. The low's blocked. They're in range. We gonna see a jump in? A dash? Player 2 needs to take advantage of this gauge disparity. They push their way out of the corner. Knock them out of the air. Boots him and takes a swing. Impact squashed. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Huge chance after that wall splash. Player 1 with the rhythm owning them. Oh, it's enough. Player 1 comes out on top of that fierce battle. Talk about a show. That match had it all. It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that good battle. Jumps up. Big throws. Pings them with the Shikusen. Player 1 creates a good corner opportunity. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Player 2 can't let their drive hold your breath. Player 2 in that dangerous burnout state. Oh, can they survive this badly timed burnout? This is a real back and forth match for some. They definitely know what the other is capable of. No more drive gauge. Takes a trip. Player 1 is maintaining the corner position for some juicy damage. Let's see how they apply their corner pressure in this situation. Life lead is opening up, but that could still KO. Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight.
Immediate jump in. Got their eye on the air. Player 1 kept their drive gauge topped off through that round and still took the win. Guess they didn't need it. Burnout activates. Barely blocks the jump in. Knockdown and smart play with the throw. They're going for the super art. That's not gonna hit. Player 1 will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. A quick breather. Fights out of the corner, back to the center of the stage. Player 2 has the chance to win the round if they can put their drive to good use. Uses their drive gauge. Looking for it, pumps the brakes on the impact. Can this drive bring them back? Solid anti-air. Can they feet, the corner throw ends it. Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak.
Round one.
It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Jumps up. Player one pushes the opponent into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. The move whips and they get nailed with a punish counter. Gets through the opening. Can they use the corner to mount a comeback? Denies the jumping attack with a jumping attack of their own. All right. Definitely shuts out the jumping. Uncomfortable space here. Can they clip each other on the edge? What's the play here? Opts for the throw. Steps in for the throw. Player one doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. Takes a trip, takes a big gamble, and rips out a raw super. Did well to get the buff in there. Okay, creating some space here. Was looking for that jump attack. Life lead opens up. Jumps in. The quarter makes it hard to escape. What'll be the setup here? Blocking that drive impact KO! Player one picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round two. Fight.
Misses the grab. Throws them to negate the block. Drive rush to keep it going. The properties that attacks get from a drive rush make them a great tool for creating chances like that. Risky up-close scrap still going. Big throws. Player one will look to apply pressure. Blocking that drive impact isn't going to work. Player one holding on to that corner advantage. The throw missed. Tries to act quickly but whiffs the attack. A quick breather. Are we gonna see a comeback here? Player sees the overhead coming. Flatlines them. Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak.
Round one.
Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Switches it up. Takes them all the way to the corner with that. From up above. You can open up chances to do big damage by baiting something out, getting that opening, and then jumping in. Player two is almost dead, but some clutch drive move perfect. Takes the round without getting touched. Player one takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with? Goes for the jump in to start the round. They've both showed their hands a little bit, so they must be thinking of a counter. Jumps? Oh, they're in the corner now. No running away. Chases them into the corner and will now look to do some damage. Player one in dire strength drive rush to keep it going. Blocks it. Just goes for it at this range. The super doesn't hit. That's a counter. Fights out of the corner, back to the center of the stage. Our fighters are at a standstill. What's the play here? Watching each other carefully. Who will make the first move? Burnout activates. And they create an opportunity for themselves to seal the deal. In there! Player one brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. How is this rematch going to play out? Are we going to witness a blow-up here? Good job blocking the jump-in. They're showing us just how patient they can be. You gotta escape from the corner before the pressure builds up. There's a drive rush to throw the opponent off balance. Player one in that dangerous burnout state. Can they outlast it? Player one has used up all of their drive gauge. Can they use the corner to mount a comeback? What are they thinking here? Throws him. What's next? Gets the knockdown, and now the quarter makes it hard to escape. What'll be this KO? Player one sets the tone with that win. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Round two. Fight.
They've piled up the knowledge. Now, how are they going to use it? Did well to get the buff in there. Caught in the crosshair. Excellent jump in. Shows the medium kick. Player one needs to use the threat of the corner here. A quick breather. Player one will need to springs forward with the drive rush. Goes in the distance. Manages to block the jump-in attack. Low heavy. Side switch in the corner. Looking for a chance. Not much movement, but the thinking caps are definitely on. Hits them with this free flow. Watching each other carefully. Who will make the first move? Super art on deck for both fighters. How they approach the situation will be interesting. Yo, cut that boy off! He's forward rush! Oh, could be the start of something. Looking for a hole. Doing some quick planning? Do they gamble something here on a drive move? What a finish! Last round, people. Both fighters gotta go all in from this point.
Final round. Fight!
Gets the counter hit. Ooh, what a smart blow! Jumps in. All in with a rush! Both are ready to pull the trigger. This is gonna hurt! Throws them! Amazing! Forward rush! Player two! There's a burnout! Tries to act quickly, but with the attack! Okay, here we go! Player two is in burnout state! A very precarious situation! This is where we can expect some major pressure! Ooh, you never know what can happen here! They're in range! We lost Super Art incoming! Uh-oh! This would really tip the scales!
That's a good.
Goes all out with the Super Art! Noticeable life lead. Is a comeback still possible? And are you kidding me? Player one made some smart moves there. Great game.
Round one.
It's not over yet. Let's believe it's time for that run back. Jumps, reads the jump in perfectly. Decides to buff up while they can. The Fuha stalk to the brim. Look for them to turn up the heat now. Throw hits. Now the fun begins. Was well in range to score the throw. Player one is in burnout. Drives off the table. The quarter makes it hard to escape. What'll be the setup here? Player one doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. Goes for the super art? Oops, they were anticipating that super art. Uses the drive rush here to steal their turn. Combo with the target combo. Decides to buff up while they can. Very solid corner. Are we gonna see a comeback here? Heats it up with a combo into super. What a finish. Great lead in the life gauge there. Player one picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round two. Fight!
They've both showed their hands a little bit, so they must be thinking of a counter. The low doesn't connect. The fighters continue to check each other in the early going. Keeping track of the opponent's movements, waiting for a good opening. Player two is in a pretty good situation with the meter advantage. What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Player one can't use any drive moves without burning out. Experiencing burnout. Player one will have to deal with this dangerous bout of burnout for a while. Out of drive gauge. Now's the time. Looking for a chance. Barely blocks the jump in. Player one breaks it. They need to capitalize on this drive. Springs forward with the drive rush. Player two can't use it. All the throw connects. Both of them back off. They may be preparing for the final exchange. Cross-up attack. Break through with the throw. Player one is a force to be reckoned with.
Round one.
It's not over yet. Let's believe it's time for that run back. Jump. Good job blocking the jump in. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Blocking a jump in attack means you're at a disadvantage, so they should be looking to anti-air instead. Player 1 will be in a world of hurt if their drive gauge runs out. Uncomfortable space here. Can they clip each other on the edge? What are they thinking here? Definitely shuts out the jumper. Below is denied. Impacts a no-go. The drive impact doesn't get them the punish counter, but it's still good. Limited resources at hand right now. And a super activation. Looking to score some juicy damage. All right, what's coming up next? Heading into the end game now. It's getting tense. Checks with a medium. Drive rush to keep it going. Opts for the free flow kicks to get a drink in. Medium kick hit. KO. Player 1 picks up the always important first round. They'll want to keep the ball rolling.
Round 2. Fight.
Gets a risky buck in. Who's going to start things off? Pulls the burnout activates. Turns a bar to unleash the storm. Sakai Fuhasan. Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner here. Big chance here to do some damage if they can keep the corner pressure up. Player 1 has an empty drive gauge. This is a very precarious situation. Springs forward with the drive rush. Player 2 is working with a better gauge. What can they do with it? What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Jumps up, grabs and throws him. Saihasho. Player sees the overhead coming. Opts for the free flow kicks to get a drink in. Gotta be careful not to whip at this range. Oh, the throw connects. Player 1 all in with a rush. Noticeable life lead is a comeback, reads them like a book and takes them out. Player 1 brings it home. Let's see if they can build themselves a streak. Right back into the rematch. We ain't even close to done yet. Gets a risky buff in. They block the overhead, and both fighters are pretty much unscathed. How are they going to deal damage? What's the play here? Uncomfortable space here. Can they clip each other on the edge? Player 1 will be in a world of hurt if their drive gauge runs out. Backs them into the corner. Buys some time by driving them into the corner. And now they can create some big chances to do damage here. Blocks the jump in. Changes the pace with an air-to-air. Heading into the end game now. It's getting tense. Pressure going on the offensive? The drink levels are 4. All inhibitions are out the window. This is the range where things get messy. Can they use KO? Player 1 picks up the first round. That'll give them a psychological advantage.
Round 2. Fight.
Immediate jump in. Grabs him. Player 1 has a slight life lead that they may sit on. Time to sit on the lead. Player 1 will need to play it conservative until their drive refreshes. They decide to take a breather to regroup. Out of range, relatively safe. Player 1 will look to a burnout activates. Player 1 will have to deal with just goes for it at this range. Traps him with a break-in. Both fighters planning something? Now, can they finish the job? Opts to continue the attack with the drive. Going in? Avoids getting stuck in the... Perfect execution with the anti-air. Time to reassess the situation? The low kick hits. Drink level plus super art. Player 2 low heavy, but no go. Full drive on deck. Not much movement, but the thinking caps are definitely on. Their spacing is so on point right now. But who's gonna blink first? Gets the counter hit. You'll cut that point. What a finish! Player 1 gets the win in a convincing fashion.
Round 1.
It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run back. Opts for the free flow kicks to get a drink in. Decides to buff up while they can. Okay, we're in the early stages of the round. What's the play here? The drink level's at 4. All inhibitions are out the window. Player 2 has a slight life lead that they may sit on. Can they exploit this advantage? Good job blocking the jumping. They're showing us just how patient they can be. Player 1 in that dangerous burnout state. Oh, can they survive this badly timed burnout? Player 1 doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. Throws them to negate the block. Misses the drive impact. Heading into the end game now, it's getting tense. They were right to be on guard there. Both are just hanging on by a thread. Were they baiting them into that? Ends the round with a sick combo. Amazing.
Of course I'd win!
Player 2 with the first strike, but they can't get complacent.
Round 2. Fight.
Rushes down the opponent to impose their will. Who's going to start things off? Player 2 needs to use the threat of the corner. Drink level maxed out. This party's getting crazy. Player 1 is in a pretty good situation with the meter advantage. What'll happen here? Risky up-close scrap still experiencing burnout. Jumps in. Blocks the impact. Big throw. Going in. Jumps. Breaks the forward throw. Laying the pressure on things. Burnout activates. Player 1 will look to apply prep. Oh my god, they just choked it up. You've got to be mindful of reach and jump-ins at this range. Are we gonna see a comeback here? So, what's next? Drive rush! Player 1 can't use any touch, low heavy. The next touch, no way, that win wasn't luck. That was 100% planned. This is the final round. Expect to see some fireworks.
Final round. Fight.
Backdash to start. They're not taking any chances. Pumps the brakes on the impact. Super clutch corner spin. Steals back a chance. Fights out of the corner, back to the center of the stage. What'll happen here? Breaks it. Jumps. Barely blocks the jump in. Solid anti-air. They just said, get that jump in out of here. The drive impact doesn't work. Player 1 is barely hanging on to their last bit of drive. Wilman blocks the low kick. Knockdown. Here comes the mix-up. Anti-air in the clutch. Ooh, you never know what can happen. Yo, critical art now. Shreds them with a critical. Such a smart play to go for in this situation. Fighting back against the odds and giving them a chance to win this. Noticeable luck. This is gonna hurt. Getting it all on the top. Are you kidding me? Player 2 straight up outplays them. Talk about a David and Goliath situation.
Round 1.
It's not over yet. Best believe it's time for that run. Jumps in. Big throws. Player 1 chases them down. Huge opportunity here with no way to backdash out of danger. Player 1 in that dangerous burnout state. Can they outlast it? Player 1 doesn't have a lot of drive gauge to play with. Not a good thing. Will this super art connect? Player 2 is almost dead, but picks up the win with the counter hit. Looked like they were baiting their opponent into making a mistake. Player 1 takes the round like a thief in the night. What else can they get away with? They both showed their hands a little bit, so they must be thinking of a counter. Had the radar up and running. Both fighters want to establish themselves early on. Player 1 is working with a better gauge. What can they do with it? What separates the good from the great in this game is smart gauge management. Smart play with the throw. Both fighters planning something? Player 1 needs to use the threat of the corner here. Blocks it. Life lead is there, but genius read with that throw escape. Experiencing burnout. They're going for the super art. Side switch in the corner. Oh no, they're stunned. Player 2 will look to apply pressure here. A real test of nerves here. Burns out. Shows a medium kick. Impact squat. Oh my god, they just choked it up. Oh, here we go. Player 2 puts the fear of God in it.
Fighter 1 gets the win in a convincing fashion.